Assalamu alaikum viewers, this is Shahbaz Khan, and for a public message for all my viewers right now against the existing epidemic of coronavirus. And then once again the question arises out of the fact, what is coronavirus? So here to talk about it. The devastating coronavirus outbreak has actually devastated the entire part of the world and actually has affected around 190 countries, and the reports are continuously coming from multiple new other countries as well. So first and foremost, the pets are actually blamed for that. That's like they were the ones who transmitted that novel coronavirus into human beings belonging to the species of Cronodai, and were never identified in humans before. But to tell you the truth, that coronavirus is a type of an influenza, a human coronavirus, what would be said, found in humans almost years ago, and this is what was currently considered to be the kind of an epidemic because people are the ones who are transmitting that to one another, and actually that's become dangerous in that case. Many other reasons can be given for that. So it is transferred into humans for sure from animals, and now we can say for sure, and has actually infected our respiratory system, that is the breathing disorder and etc. So almost around 400,000 people have been affected by this virus, and sadly speaking, around 15,000 people have died due to it. So the world has actually suffered a big deal already, and God forbid, may we not face many more casualties coming ahead. So the mortality rate is still what is researched is still around 10%. The death ratio, what should be said, but it's epidemic in 190 countries, like I've said, and the reports are continuously coming from all across the world. Yes, it is our hands. It is our hands that carries germs, and that we cannot simply see. So it is that hand that should be washed every time, and it is that hand which should be isolated. It means here by actually not using those hands to touch your nose, your face, your mouth, etc. So we'll talk about that once more. So the common signs of infection that includes by coronavirus is the type of symptoms: the respiratory syndrome, the fever, coughing, the breathing difficulties, and the pneumonia, and many other respiratory kidney failures and etc. And that certainly causes death, as you have seen the casualty rate. That's not visible straight away. It takes around 14 days to actually come to know whether one is affected by coronavirus, and but it does get visible or it starts getting visible from the 5th day. It is what is researched like. So we need to understand the conditions of it, and to act accordingly. So the measures which we are left to do is to keep ourselves self-isolated, and at the same time, when we are feeling unwell and feeling sick, so stop transmitting that to people, and keep yourself in a self-isolation. Avoid touching from your hands to your nose, your mouth and eyes, and try to keep ourselves hydrated at the same time. Wear mask. What we are supposed to do these days, and to fight the situation, what is needed today is to adopt personal care, and to do so we and with that keeping that in mind, we can flatten the curve. This is the graph that you can see here. People with protective measures can flatten that outbreak and the disastrous virus of coronavirus. Otherwise, this virus does come along, and once we are avoiding the measures, we can't simply flatten the curve. It continues to rise higher and higher. So in order to flatten the curve of this outbreak, we need to adopt protective measures. So that's because that's from the healthcare system that we are bound to follow. use alcohol-based sanitizers, hand washers, soaps, and to wash our hands frequently. This is one simple thing that we are supposed to do every day, every time. And we need to avoid traveling unnecessarily, avoid such contacts with people that we normally and usually do. We need to stop that, especially to those people who are sick. We must get away from them, sneezing people, and we must avoid parties and foods. This is simply very hard to do, but this is what we are supposed to do. Cover your mouth and nose while you are sneezing. This is one last thing that you must adopt at the same time. And that is all from my side. It is still a public message. Stay smart, stay indoors, and safe lives. Take care, Allah Hafiz.